The number one burning question is how long until you start seeing profits on Amazon. I'm sharing with you a guideline so that you know what to expect, but the honest answer is that it's different for everyone. There are a lot of variables to consider, but with that in mind, I'll share with you guys that guideline and a breakdown timeline of the average projections and what to expect. From point zero, which would be finding a product, to the time that you launch on Amazon, you should expect at least 6 months. If you are working on this business for the first time, if you're a beginner and not working on it full time, at least commit 1 hour per day on the business for 4 weeks. That 1 hour a day would include finding a product for your business, understanding the market that you're going after, and just narrowing down your choices and ideas, receiving feedback from others, etc. Next, you would start having open communications with your suppliers. So emails back and forth, letting them know about the product and how it can come to fruition. So that's about 2 weeks. The final part of those 6 weeks would be finalizing your product and waiting for a sample, making sure you're checking it and testing it. So that's about a week for them to send it to you. So from the point of looking for a product to actually having an idea and ready to be manufactured is about 7 to 8 weeks roughly, not accounting for mistakes or delays here and there, which happens with anything. But from the start, it would be about 7 to 8 weeks for you to actually have an idea in place. Keep in mind that at this point, you haven't spent any money. The first 7 to 8 weeks, you are focusing in on a product and thinking about what you want your business to be. Once things are in place and you're ready to go is when you actually create your first order, and this is where you will spend your first money. You'll likely place a small order, and this is where I absolutely recommend you do, especially if you're a beginner and new to this process. Don't make the same mistake I did as a beginner when I launched my product Vino cards. I go into detail what happened and why I wish I would have ordered a small quantity of my product. I'll link the video here so that you can learn more about that. But if you do know the quantity of product that you want to have and place, then you will start the manufacturing process. If you are doing it in China or overseas, speak with your manufacturer and understand what the lead time is before you actually start the process, and then the actual manufacturing process could vary, but typically this time frame would be about 4 weeks. So manufacturing and having it shipped to you. 4 weeks is a typical time frame if you are manufacturing in China or somewhere overseas. If you also want to have the items shipped to you quicker after it is done, keep in mind that you might have to pay for air shipping. Sea shipping also takes a long time. Air shipping tends to be much quicker to receive the product or have it sent in directly to Amazon, but the sea shipping does take a little longer, so that'll add some time to your overall time frame. During that 4-week production and shipping period is where you will be preparing at home. This includes applying for an Amazon account, filling your listing, create your listing titles, descriptions, bullet points, basically all the back end preparation. I also recommend having a social media, Facebook launch group, email list, communicate with your friends and family, and get everyone hyped up for the launch of your product. Some people will have success off the bat when they launch on Amazon. It could be that they had help from their mentors or their own team, or are already familiarized with how ads work, PPC, coupons, giveaways, and all of that. But for others, and this is probably more common, that first month of launching on Amazon, you'll see a negative. The second month, it could be that you break even, and finally in the third month, you'll start to see a profit. Now, don't forget that when you are calculating all of that, that revenue is very different from profit. So don't forget to subtract your shipping costs, everything that you invested before, so the production and all of that, into your business, and then see what that final cost is, that actual profit that goes into your pocket. And speaking from my own experience of launching my product Vino cards on Amazon, I don't believe it's uncommon to see a profit within the first year. Now, if you are at the 6-month mark leading up to that year and you're not seeing a profit, I would recommend reevaluating what you're doing, your ads, what your spend is, and think about about what needs to be adjusted, because there's got to be something going on where you're not seeing a return. So always keep in mind how the business is moving. Think about that business plan and that traction that you're getting from customers. If it's non-existent, reevaluate. By this point, you're starting to see organic sales and understanding how the Amazon account works, seeing how and what is working, what's not working, just having an overall familiarity of everything that goes into having an Amazon product. For a beginner, the worst case scenario would be having spent 12 weeks looking for a product in manufacturing, launching on Amazon, and then either breaking even or waiting to break even before seeing a profit, which could take another 3 months from that point, another 12 weeks. So overall, it's about 6 months from point zero to seeing a profit on Amazon. This is where it gets complicated. To give you a foolproof plan, it's not possible. 6 months is a generalized number given to you by anyone in this space. Anyone can say that it takes half a year to a year to have a product and launch it on Amazon. All of these timelines are averaged out based on different scenarios, so everyone's going through something completely different. And as you can imagine, it can vary widely depending on your product, the space you're going after, your time commitment, and just what's going on globally, as we've all experienced with coronavirus. So take this information as a base point to start imagining and seeing what that year can look like for you based on your current situation. The process could be quick or slow, and if you think 6 months to a year is just too long of a time to wait to see a profit, it's completely understandable. You can wait to start a product or only work on it part-time. It all comes down to you and the work you want to put in, how much you want to commit and invest to it, and how smart you are about the process in general. There's always a risk when starting a business, but are you willing to ask questions, look for mentorship? What are you willing to put in to make sure that you are going to have success on Amazon? You can also think about what the risk would be if you didn't start FBA. So think about your current situation and weigh the pros and cons. Of course, do what's best for you. For the first 1.5 years of my business, I only worked on it full time. I was working a full-time job, and because of it, I didn't see rapid growth with my Amazon sales. Back then, I was okay with that. I wanted it to be a side hustle, but there was a point where I was ready to quit my full-time job for FBA. Click here to see what brought me to that point of quitting my job, and I will catch you in that video.